of course, it's time for everything under the sun. A time to be born, a time to go to school, a time when you need to serve your fatherland, regardless of where you are as an African. Bimbola Adewale is my name, and this is the Job Show with Bimbola Adewale. And of course, welcome back to the show. It's the Job Show with Bimbola Adewale. Wherever you are, we will be sharing some vacancies with you as we speak. So I need you to get your paper and pen ready. I'm going to be faster than Usain Bolt and be dishing out those vacancies wherever you are. So get your paper, get your pen, and call your family and friends. That the only program that will empower you to get all the available vacancies and opportunities regarding Africans. Of course, we'll be going live on social media. So if you are there, you can as well be of good help to other job seekers and spread the news, not the virus. If you are there, I am ready. Today we will be looking at vacancies from Kenya. Of course, we'll also be looking at vacancies from Ethiopia. We're also going down in Egypt as well. We'll also be going down at Ghana, and of course, the motherland. We'll also be talking more of vacancies in the largest black nation on earth, talking about Nigeria. And if you are there, you want vacancies that will take you to the next level as Africans, well, this is the best time where you need to spread it and let everybody know that the Job Show Africa is definitely on social media TV. I will take a break, and when I come back, of course, we get to the business of the day. Remember that every job is always a part-time. Yes, welcome back to the show. This is the Job Show with Bimbola Adewale. If you are there, let's do this quickly and let's take the first shot of the day. So my number one vacancy today says we are going to Kenya, and this one says the Buzara Center for Behavioral Economics requires a behavioral design specialist. So what that means is, if you are interested to be a behavioral design specialist, you will not be working in the US or Canada or in the Netherlands, but you are definitely going to be working in Kenya. An applicant must have the following requirements. One, you must have a bachelor degree in economics, social science, anthropology, history, psychology, journalism, or any other field that would definitely get you the job. This number two requirement says you must have prior design experience in a creative consulting environment at least 3 years work experience if you are looking for what I call behavioral design specialist in Kenya. My number three requirement for this position says you must have a minimum of 3 years conducting quantitative research within a business setting. And number four requirement says you must have a minimum of 3 years of experience conducting interviews and moderating group dialogues as well to apply for this vacancy in Kenya. And number five says you must also have a 3 years minimum experience utilizing graphic and graphics research tools, and of course participating, observing semiotic surveys and journals as well, if you must apply to this job in Kenya. So what this means is, for all Africans that definitely desire to work in Kenya as a behavioral design specialist, you must have the 5 requirements to work in that field as well. And of course, if you are there home and abroad as an African, then you should be able to log on quickly to www.buzaracenter.org/careers to get the full details of this vacancy, and you can fly very well and get the vacancy. That's my number one vacancy, talking about Kenya. Let's move quickly to number 2 vacancy as we talk on the Bimbo Adewale show. Of course, it's the Job Show Africa with Bimbola Adewale. My number 2, we are definitely going to Kenya. Ethiopia, I beg your pardon. This one says the Life and Peace Institute LPI is an international center for support that promotes non-violent approaches to conflict transformation through a combination of research and actions. They seek you as a communications advisor. So if you are there, you can work as a communication advisor on Africa. Then definitely you must be able to work as a regional program and Ethiopia country program as well. So this is what it takes. You will be responsible for the effective implementation of the Life and Peace Institute, talking about LPI communication efforts in close collaboration with the Global Communication Advisor. And these are the qualifications to apply as a communication advisor. Number 1, you must have a relevant BA degree. Number 2, you must have at least 3 to 5 years experience in communication working in Africa, ideally with NGO agencies or communication consultancy if you must work as a communication advisor to this NGO. And the number 3 says here, you must also have knowledge and understanding of peace building, civil society engagement, in particular the youth engagement. Of course, you must have a strong understanding of the evolution of media from traditional to digital world. And the number 5 requirement says here, you must have proven ability to network, speak right, and communicate effectively, and to tailor messages and device to diverse audience as we speak, talking about the youth as well. So if you are interested to work as a communication advisor on an Africa regional program and Ethiopia country program, you must know that this means that you will be going to Ethiopia to settle down in Ethiopia and work as an African. It doesn't really matter where you are from in Africa, but as long as you have African, then you must quickly apply to this and see if your qualifications will get you the right job. And your resume and your cover letter, and of course a link to your social media platform, should be forwarded to the email address of the employer, saying applications.adisababa@live-peace.org. My second vacancy as we speak on the Job Show Africa with Bimbola Adewale. This is also going to Ethiopia. If you are there, you can also work in Ethiopia, and the firm is seeking for you. The request for you as Simprint empowers. Simprint empowers the existing mobile tools that government and development organizations are already using to develop essential services as the front line. And they are requesting that they are seeking for a country director. That's a big one. They are requesting for a country director. You must get your resume, your cover letter, and answer the 3 questions that the employer of labor needs to know in Ethiopia. And of course, what are the questions? Simple. In my own definition, it says, what is your vision for your contribution to the world? What excites you? For me, what is my contribution? My contribution is the Job Show Africa to the entire populace of Africans, giving them all the job vacancies available for free, and of course giving them all the opportunities that you definitely can get for free as well. That's my contribution. And what excites me? What excites me is how I do this for over 8 years, and I've been doing it, waxing stronger and stronger every day, and we will never stop until we get everybody working in the continent of Africa. Number 2 questions that the employer of labor needs to know, talking about the Simprint opportunities in Ethiopia. This one says why are you applying to Simprint and not somewhere else? Number 3 questions from the employer of labor. It says here, what value do you think you can bring to the table? So 3 questions that you must answer, and add that on the website of the employer to apply as a country director with Simprint in Ethiopia. www.simprint.com/careers. www.simprint.com/careers. That is the website you need to quickly get the information from as an African applying for an African position. Number 4, we are going to Cairo. I love this. You are going to Cairo, number 4, and this one says St. Andrews Refugee Services, who I call STARS, funded in 1979. It sounds familiar. 1979 sounds familiar for people that knows. Is a refugee service provider in central Cairo that works to enhance the quality of life for refugees and vulnerable migrants through 4 broad programs. So what they are saying in essence is that there is an organization seeking for you to apply with them if you are ready to work with them as a communicator. And this one says here, if you are ready to work with them as a community outreach program officer, community outreach program officer in Egypt, then you must be ready to have the essential requirements to apply as a community research program officer. Number one, you must be fluent, or motto like this one says, fluency in written and spoken English if you must apply as a community program officer. Number two, you must have a degree in an appropriate discipline, whatever that means to you. If you've got a degree in journalism, you've got a degree in sociology, you've got a degree in psychology, then you should also be thinking if you can be a good fit for this position. And number three, essential requirement says you must have a belief and communication to non-discrimination on the basis of gender, race, disability, or religious belief. That means your judgment must be standard, your judgment must be fair if you are given the opportunity as a community outreach programs officer to work in Cairo with stars. And of course, number four, essential requirement says here you must be proactive, you must be punctual, you must be reliable, and you must be responsible to work with them as a community outreach program officer. I love Cairo. The preferred requirement for this position says you must have experience of working in programs, support, or management for a not-for-profit organization. That means you must have a mindset of not making money. You must have a mindset of helping out, reaching out to people that really need your support as an expert. And what that means is that you must have a woman kind mind to apply for this position and work with this organization. The number two preferred requirement here says you must have experience or working with refugee. You must have experience working with refugee if you must get an opportunity with this organization. Number three says here you must have knowledge of the refugee context in Egypt. So what that means is you must do your research and find out how does refugee processes works in North Africa. That means you must find out what exactly is obtainable in refugee processes in Cairo, Egypt. And of course, you must have knowledge of STARS programs. You must have the knowledge of St. Andrews Refugee Services, STARS, to work with that organization. That is simple. Get online, do a research on them, and of course, put your pen to paper and put it together and send it to them as well. You must have motivation to create internal and external networks of communication. That means you must have a good network to definitely be able to function well in this position. Of course, you must have the ability to prioritize workload and multitask as well. You must understand that the present world is dynamic. And what that means is if you must move faster, then you definitely need to be dynamic in the present world that we live as well. So put all of this together and take it simple on yourself. Put your resume together, your cover letter, using the subject line Community Outreach Programs Officer. Put this document together and send it to applications@stars-egypt.org. When we come back, then we'll be giving out 2 more vacancies in Nigeria, and we'll call it a day quickly, so that you definitely can put that and of course can spread the information that the job show Africa with Bimbola Adewale will definitely be talking to you every week on this platform. Of course, you're welcome back to the show. This is the Bimbola Adewale show. Of course, you can call it the Job Show Africa with Bimbola Adewale. The radio station is seeking for a media practitioner in Lagos. If you are there, you can work as a media practitioner. Then you definitely need to put your resume together and your cover letter. Media practitioners, these are people that does more of information and give out those information to people that needs those information as well. So you must have a minimum of a degree in journalism. People call it mass communication. Then you definitely need to put it together. And of course, you must have a minimum of 10 years working experience as a media practitioner to get this job as we speak. If you are familiar with the capital city in Lagos, they're talking about Ikeja, then you must know that's where the opportunity lies. You must put it together, send your resume to the job man himself, to the jobshowafrica@gmail.com. Then you will be sent an invite for a formal interview. Then you can fly with that and see how your expertise will take you from there. And this is where I'm going to end today's episode of the Job Show Africa on this platform. So if you are there, you want to work as a an executive marketer. An executive marketer is needed by a mobile telecommunication company in Lagos. In Nigeria, as we speak, you must have a minimum of 7 years experience as a marketer. Then you must also have a minimum of an MBA, master's degree in marketing, or any of the social sciences platform to apply as a master's degree holder. I'm talking about marketing executive. I tell you, this is a requirement that people will know. But I tell you, what comes from these opportunities is awesome, because you have an official car, you also have residential benefit, you also have medical benefit as well, talking about working with a telecommunication firm in Lagos. So if you are there, just put all those information together on your resume and please kindly send it, subject it as executive marketer to the jobshowafrica@gmail.com, and I tell you, we will forward those information to the employer of labor, and lucky you might be called for an interview and you share the good news with us if you finally got the job. That's all I can take on the show today. Of course, I am talking to you from New York, so what that means is we will be talking more every weekend on this platform, giving out vacancies to everybody that needs that vacancy in Africa. You must also know that the Job Show Africa is already incorporated as a non-profit in the United States of America. What that means is we are definitely solicit funds for people that has the funds, so that we can empower more Africans in all countries in Africa. So what that means is your $1, your $10, your $20, your $50 will definitely go a long way to empower the people of Africans. We want to keep it fast, we want to keep it empowerment, we want to keep it skillful. That means people in Africa can of course get the empowerment they need in terms of skills acquisition, and of course how to be ready to get a job while in the university. And if you are not educated at all, it's also our responsibility to make sure that we empower you with skills acquisition, and of course we also give you the necessary funds to kickstart you and make sure that you have a life of your own. So everybody is welcome to be part of this show as we speak, part of this project as we speak. So put your paper to pen, put your pen to paper, and you can send me a question. You can also send me anything you feel like talking to me on, how you can also be part of the show as we speak. We will be giving out opportunities every week on this platform. So what that means is you can quickly subscribe to the Job Show TV, the Job Show TV, or the Job Show Africa TV with Bimbola Adewale, and watch every episode from New York. We are giving out opportunities, tens and hundreds of opportunities to Africans in Africa. It's strictly about Africa. We will be visiting African countries coming July this in 2019, and see if we can establish any of our unit in each African countries, and of course have a country representative that will be getting this information and be making sure that all this information are properly utilized to get to Africans. That means we'll be going to Egypt, we will be going to Somalia, we'll be going to Uganda, we'll be going to Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, name it. All African countries will definitely be involved in this project. So it's a big one, and it's going to be a very big ride for all of us to see that if we can do at least 1 million empowerment to Africans, then we'll definitely go to bed and say truly we have empowered African continent. Bimbola Adewale is my name. Get the information on the screen, and you can talk to me anytime. We will be responding to you as well. You can WhatsApp me, you can find me, send a mail. We'll definitely be talking to you every day as we speak on social media platforms. Remember that regardless of what you do today, be it big or poor, be it small or rich, sincerely, no job stands forever. That means every job is always a part-time. Bimbola Adewale is my name, and this is the Job Show Africa.